What's going on, rock stars? You guys doing all right?
Great, coach.
What's up, coach?
You guys all right?
Yep.
All right, look at them. We're so happy. Look how excited you guys are. I love it. Monday morning, baby. Hey, we're entering the fourth quarter. You guys know this, right? So I want you to write this down. Our theme for the fourth quarter is the push. The push. We are pushing ourselves, right? We're going to finish strong. Now, why is the theme the push? Well, it's real simple. You are going to get a ton of distractions from now, December 31st. You guys understand that? You guys realize how many distractions are coming? You got Thanksgiving, you got Halloween, Christmas, New Year's. There's a lot of distractions coming. You know what the worst of them all is? Your office. You're going to have decorations coming up. You're gonna have people saying, hey, you want to go for lunch? You want to do this, you want that, and taking you away from what you should be doing, right? And we all know what we need to be doing from now till that end date, whatever that day is that you're going to decide that, hey, I'm working this hard till that day, and then after that day, I'm taking some time off. I'm going to relax. I'm going to enjoy, spend some time with my family. I'm going to enjoy some time off, and then I get back right into it in the new year. So if that's the case, right, where are you with your mindset in this? Where are you with your mindset? Are you ready for the push? And some of you are. Some of you have joined the 100K in 100 days, and that's outstanding. Really excited for you. Get a couple extra coaching calls per month, more accountability, more habits to develop, right? But on top of that, we as a group, and I probably have about, 50, 60 of you on the call. As a group, I am challenging you this October, right? And it's called the Listing Challenge. Every single one of you are in a group, and the Listing Challenge, let me pop it up here, is divided up into 4 different teams. You're all going to be in a team, and it's real simple. Go get as many listings as you possibly can. You guys up for that? More listings? Like it's a mindset thing to get in a listing. If I came to you right now, I said, I need you to get a listing this week, like your life depended on it, who would you call? Would you have someone in mind to call? Yeah, we all do. We all know that lead that we haven't talked to, right? We're avoiding their calls. We know who we can call. I want that mentality. I want that mindset just for the month of October. Just the month of October. We're all in and we're getting listings. You guys okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, a little bit, somewhat okay. I'm okay with that. No. We're going after listings in the month of October, the challenge. So don't let your teammates down. Everyone should step up. Don't let your teammates down. Now, the winning team will get a prize. There is a prize at the end of this. So we're going from October 1st to October 31st as hard as you can. Basically, maintain a schedule that you could not maintain long-term. That's what I'm looking for. Right? Like just 30 days, go in as hard as you can. What's that extra close you could use to convince them? How do you pay them in that conversation? Should I make a few more calls into like higher impact leads, like for sale by owners expires, my database, non-owner occupied, right? Like just dive a little bit deeper, right? We're also looking at another challenge, but I'm not going to get into December. Don't worry about that. Mondays, 8:30. We have a mastermind call. Now it's 8:30 East Coast time. So for my West Coast peeps like Scott, you're thinking, no, I'm not getting up at 5:30, even though some of you are, and I really appreciate that. So if you need some motivation, beginning of the week, 8:30 a.m., you log in the same way you just logged into this call, right? I really want it to be more of a mastermind than me just giving coaching calls. You know what I mean? Like I like to get people's perspective and what are you doing? What are you changing? What's going on? So it's 5:30 for my California folks, and it's New York. It is 8:30 in the morning. So that is our time every Monday, 8:30. right? Tuesdays, however, if you need some help with some role play and you'd like to practice dialogue, I know it's only about 2 or 3 of us on that call. I get it, but you're more than welcome to come on if you are having trouble with your scripts and dialogues. If you're having a tough time with that, please, Tuesdays, 8:30, come on in, right? Love to practice with you. And again, for California, it's going to be 5:30 in the morning. All right, let's get right into it. So today I'm going to bring it up here. Today, we're going to talk about the listing presentation. That is our call today. It's going to be all about the listing presentation. So let me share, I'm going to share my screen here. And if someone can know that you can see it, let me know. I just need a holler.
Yes.
Good?
Yes.
We're all good. Beautiful. Listing presentation. Let's jump right into it. The listing presentation. See, if you have a great listing presentation, the beauty about having a listing presentation where you're so excited, you can't wait to show it to people. When you have that mentality about your listing presentation, guess what? You're going to book more appointments. You will absolutely book more appointments when you have a listing presentation that you're so in love with. If for whatever reason, your listing presentation does not excite you, that listing presentation is more like, I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm doing. If you have that kind of apprehension in your presentation, I can guarantee you that's what's holding you back from getting more listings, getting more listing appointments, getting more opportunities. It's because you have a mental block. So I'm hoping to help you with some ideas, some strategies. If you have a great listing presentation, you absolutely love it, by all means, do not change it. But if you're looking for a little bit of idea, some tactics, I'm going to throw some at you today, right? So let's jump right into it. The listing presentation. When does the listing presentation actually begin? Well, the listing presentation actually begins the moment you book the appointment. And I don't care how you book the appointment. Once you book the appointment, whether it's you're making calls, you're connecting with someone, you speak to someone for the very first time, and it's like, boom, I booked a listing appointment. I don't care if you've been nurturing and following up and nurturing and follow up this lead for months. And then finally, they gave you the time of day and you booked the appointment. Or I don't care if someone just called you out of the blue from your past clients and said, hey, I need to speak to you. I'm thinking of selling my home. Does not matter. But the process, number one, is you book the listing appointment. As soon as you do that, now it's showtime. Your listing presentation now begins. So we book the appointment, and step 2, we qualify the appointment. Why? Why do we need to qualify the appointment? If we get an inbound call from our database or past client that says, hey, Danny, I need to sell my home. We have a job transfer. Why do I need to take the time to qualify that appointment? And the answer is we want to control the narrative. We really want to control what they see. So I'm going to share with you some questions that you may want to use. Motivational questions may be, where are they moving to? How soon would they like to be there? Why is it they're moving there? You know, we're getting some motivational questions, right? We may want to ask some pricing questions. When I see you, how much would you like to list your home for? Would you please describe the home for me? And is there anything positive or negative about the home that could affect the price? All 3 of these are pricing questions, right? Get an idea of pricing. And other important questions would be, do you have any specific questions or concerns that you want me to address at our appointment? Now, this is an extremely important question because this is where you get the objections from the clients. They may ask you, yeah, what's your commission? And what are you going to do to market the home? And how long is the term of the contract? And when they ask that, what are we simply doing? We're simply writing them down. We're writing it down. We're writing it down, whatever it is. We're not answering any of those questions on our call. Remember, this is being done over the phone. We book the appointment, we still have them on the call, and we'll continue that conversation. But we're getting the objections before we actually meet with the client, right? Well, I'll be sending over a pack of information. We take a few moments to review you, and I've only spoken to you. Are there any other decision makers? These are, again, important questions to ask, and you're qualifying, right? But here is the most important question. Now, this question here is going to determine whether you're going on a listing presentation or a real estate visit. Either one's okay. But if you don't ask this question, you're going on a real estate visit. And the question is, if what I say makes sense and you feel comfortable and confident that I can sell your home, are you planning to fill out all the simple paperwork to put your home on the market when I come and see you tomorrow at 6? Now, let's be honest, that's a tough question, right? That's like right in your face. Hey, are you listing with me? Is the question. And if you ask this, now you're determining whether you're going on a listing presentation. And I can tell you right now, 90% of the time, it's no. Expect that. Expect them to say no. And then what I need you to do is look at, speak to them. Obviously, you're on the phone, you can't see them. And I want you to lean in and say, may I ask why? Like with doubt. Now, this is extremely important. We're creating that doubt. It's like, yeah, if everything made sense and you feel comfortable about this, why wouldn't you list with me? And this is where they'll mumble and fumble and they'll say, oh, I don't know who you are, or we're just thinking, or early in the process. And then you give them some reassurance. Hey, that makes sense. And I appreciate you sharing that with me. I just wanted to make sure that if this is truly what you wanted to do, nothing would be holding you back. So yeah, I'm trying to let them understand and get them to formulate in their head, hey, I'm meeting with a professional realtor about the idea of selling my home. So yes, this is an important question to ask. Is like, are we starting this process, or is this a little bit more dancing that we have to do before you actually put it on the market? Right? And again, we're changing the behavior of the client. We don't want to be asking them for the contract, for the signature for the first time when we're at the door. We're planting the seed early on, right? So remember this: from fear, there's possibility. From possibility, clarity. We're having clarity now, and from clarity, we take action. We're giving the client some clarity here. All right, step number 3: we send them your pre-listing package. Why do we send them a pre-listing package? Well, a pre-listing package is to control the narrative. That's what a pre-listing package is for. It's to control your narrative. They are going to Google you, right? They're going to Google you. They're going to look you up, and you want to make sure that you control what they see. So you want to send them something, and it could be a video, or it could be something. I did this in high note here, right? You can send them a simple email, right? Gives them a little bit of detail about yourself, right? Maybe I really like the agent introduction video. If you guys have one, my client, Andrew and Jill Hassman from Vancouver, they have one. Let's see if I can play this video. Let me know if you guys can hear that.
Jill Hassman,
I'm Andrew Hassman.
and we are Remax Andrew Hassman Realty.
We've been licensed realtors in Vancouver for over
All right.
30 years. Where we've been
It's a really cool video that they put together about their team, right? Excellent to showcase to the client. You may, talk about your team, put some information about your team, maybe about your brokerage. If you're a solo agent and you're not with a team, then talk more about your brokerage. If you've done some awards or how long you've been in the business, maybe you want to put in your marketing material in there, or just testimonials, does not matter. So what we want to have with the client is giving them some familiarity about yourself. Because what we know to be true is that the more that they see you, the more that they can watch, more videos, more content, it builds that trust with the client. So sending them a pre-listing package that they can go through and get some detail about yourself is extremely powerful. We're building the trust, right? And then number 4 is we're going to prepare the CMA and then preview the competitions. Now, why are we previewing competition? Why do we have to actually go out there and take a look at what the competition is like for the property? And the reality is this: you need to look at their listing, their home, from the eyes of a buyer. If you took some time, 20, 30, 40 minutes, maybe even an hour before your appointment, and went to go see the 2 or 3 listings that are the direct competition to the one that you're going on, right? You now have it in your mind, hey, exactly what the comparables look like. And you can price this home accordingly. And it's extremely powerful when you're sitting down at the table with the client and you're discussing price and asking them, hey, have you seen this home? Because I walked through it. I've seen what they have, right? And you can be more of the authority when it comes to price. So taking the time to preview the competition. And then the last piece we put in here, eyes of the buyer. Sold properties indicate market value. Active indicate market direction. And then the last part is show up mentally for the listing presentation, right? What are you doing those 5 or 10 minutes before you knock on, right? What are you doing to get yourself mentally prepared? So I would suggest visualizing the perfect outcome, right? Just simply close your eyes while you're just before getting into their house. You're in your car, you see the front door, you close your eyes and you visualize yourself walking up to the door, knocking on their door, shaking their hand, walking through the house. You visualize sitting at the kitchen table and doing a great listing presentation, having them sign the listing agreement at your price and at your commission. You visualize yourself going outside, putting the for sale sign on the lawn, putting the sold writer on the for sale sign, and then you're driving away with a $10,000 paycheck. You guys see that? Can you see that in your mind's eye? See, we manifest what we put in our heads, what we visualize it to be true. So if you show up mentally ready for this appointment, you've already got the listing. They just haven't signed the agreement yet. So showing up mentally is by far the most important part of the entire presentation. And everything I shared with you just now, these little 5 points that I'm sharing with you right now, this is just for you to get ready for the presentation, right? This is just for you to finally meet with them. So now you're at the door. We've booked the appointment. We've qualified the appointment. We've sent them some information about you. They know who you are. You've prepared yourself with the CMA. You've gone through, you've looked at properties. You know what the comparables are. And now you're ready. You're ready for this appointment. So let's jump right into it. The listing presentation. Here we go. Right? What the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve. We know that. We absolutely know that. So you walk into the room. Is everyone giddy and excited to see you? Absolutely not. In fact, the tension's pretty thick in there, right? You walk into that room and it's like, whew, they look a little nervous. Yeah, your client's a bit nervous. Whether they've done this before or not, they're a little nervous. There's a lot of tension in the room. So our job is to try and remove that tension, right? So the best way to do that is to understand where the client is coming from, right? See, their home is the most expensive asset that they own. It's tied into their net worth. It's tied into their lifestyle. Hey, it's tied into possibly the retirement if they're downsizing. So this decision to sell their home, we can't take it lightly. I know we look at it as another listing on the board, but it's not. This is way more important. This is a major decision for them, right? So then how do we remove it? So first of all, let's set the tone. Let's just tell them, hey, this is what's going to go on. I'm going to answer these 5 questions, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, and then we'll decide what you like to do. Let's just keep it simple. Let's keep it light. So what are the 5 questions that every homeowner has when it comes to selecting a realtor? The first is, why should they hire you to represent the sale of their home? The second is, what are you going to do to sell the home? What do you charge for this service? What is their home worth in today's market? And what's happening in the market? See, these are the only 5 questions they really have in their mind. So if you draw up a presentation in which you answer these 5 questions, they can make that decision on what to do. So problem is, just like we are right now, the problem with any presentation, it's too much of one person talking and not enough of other people involved. And that's a major problem. When you're at a presentation, it's hard to build rapport when you're the only one talking. So we want to make sure that our presentation involves the client, gets them to express themselves, gets them to open up to you, as we say, right? So how do we do that? Building trust and rapport is by asking open-ended questions. And specifically, there are two open-ended questions to begin a presentation that I highly recommend. The first one is, what characteristic traits are you looking for in the next realtor you choose? How about that? What characteristic traits are you looking for next realtor you choose? And what are they going to say to that? They'll say something, well, we want someone that's going to communicate with us. Okay, so communication. We want someone that's going to be upfront and honest with you. Okay, so you want honesty. We want someone that just gets the house sold. All right, gets the home sold. So we want to keep egging them on. What's next? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm going to keep writing this down. I'm going to keep writing it down. Then I'll turn to them and say, okay, hey, you're sort of describing me. It's a couple of things you missed, but that's okay. It's okay. We just started working together. It's okay. Folks, that little corny joke is called an icebreaker. It's on purposely there to break the tension. And I got someone who giggled, which is great. Thank you. Thank you for participating. I love that. Right? The idea here is just to break the tension, nothing more. However, this next question is pivotal. This next question is extremely important, and that is, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, what concerns you with the process of getting your home sold? And they're going to say whatever they're going to say. They're going to say, okay, hey, we got our pet dog. What do we do with showings with our dog in the house, right? Do we need a for sale sign in the lawn? Do we need to put a lockbox in the property? Hey, what happens if we sell this home and we haven't bought anything yet? Do we still have to go through with the sale? And you're just, what are you doing? You're just writing it down. And you're writing it down. And you're writing it down. Just keep going. And what you want them to do is you want them to talk. We want them to vent. Let it all out. See, if we don't do that, if we don't let them venting during your presentation, when something pops in their head, they're going to interrupt you. But if I can get them to vent, and I go out and say, what else? And what else? And what else? And what else? And just write it down. Now, am I supposed to answer them now? No. I want you to write it down and then put it aside. Look them straight in the eye and say, these are great questions that we always cover in our presentation. Look, and I'm going to do that in the presentation. So let's begin. See, if we begin to answer their concerns at that moment, it's going to throw you off in your presentation. And the conversation can go in many different ways. We need to control the presentation. We need to control the conversation by allowing the client to vent their issues. And then you putting it aside and saying, we're definitely going to cover it. They feel at ease. They feel more relaxed. That pressure on their chest comes off and they're like, okay. Now, it's called the law of reciprocity. They will now reciprocate what was received. And since I took the time to write down everything that they had said, now they're going to take the time to listen to what I have to say. Now, this is us setting the tone for the presentation. And like I said, these are just tips and ideas that you may use. You may have an amazing presentation, and I bet you do. But this little tip I would highly recommend. Allow them to vent before you start your presentation. Allow them to continue. Now, first question. Why should you hire us to represent you in the sale of your home? Well, at this point, you just showcase whatever you do. You know, you can do some testimonials, some reviews, whatever plan of action you've ever used. You can share whatever you want. I don't care. Share your numbers. If you're a solo agent, not on a team here, then use your office numbers. There's nothing wrong with that. We just want to showcase some value. But I am going to say that once you showcase some value to the consumer, we want that interaction with the consumer, right? So we have to give them a final thought. And the idea of a final thought is to tie them down to that conversation, to have them nod their head and say, yes, I agree with what you're doing. I could see why we can hire you, and have them tie into that. And it's really important. So whatever the final thought is, pick something, whatever it may be. I like using the one about, there are two things I can promise you, Peter. Number one, I will be the hardest working agent for you. And number two, I will always tell you the truth. I'm going to highlight that. And any one of you can highlight that. And then I'm going to use what's called a tie down. And the tie down goes like this. Having the hardest working realtor and always being told the truth. Isn't that what you want from the next agent you choose? And you see how I'm nodding my head yes? And see how you guys are nodding your head yes? That's right. We want that reassurance. We want that head nod. We want them to say yes. Yes, I can see that. And that gives you permission now to go into the next question, right? We tie them down to why they should hire you. We go into the next one. What are we going to do to sell your home? This is your marketing plan. And, it come whatever you want. I don't care. You could talk about your team and how every person has a different role in the team. You could talk about statistics. You could talk about how you do professional photography. You do videos. You do designs, floor plans, anything and everything you want to choose. I don't care. You pick what you want. But here's the key. Whatever you say, showcasing why it's a benefit to them. It's not about you. It's about the consumer. Why is it by putting a for sale sign on your lawn, is that a important part of your marketing? And it could be that 20% of all homes are sold because of curb appeal. And since you have a for sale sign on your lawn, people are going to look at that and say, oh, that home's for sale, whatever. Pick one item, and now you can use that as a tie down, as a final thought. So I like to use passive marketing versus active marketing. See, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, everything I shared with you is what we call passive marketing, where you're waiting for the buyers to come to you. But did you know, in my schedule, I schedule 2 hours every single day to get on the phones and to find a buyer for the homes that I have for sale and to find sellers for the buyers that I'm working with. We call that active marketing. In fact, we keep track of this. And we know that every 46 people we talk to, we sell a house. Now, here's the tie down. Having both a passive and an active approach to marketing your home, isn't that what you want from a marketing plan? You see how I'm nodding yes, and so are you? We're all nodding yes. We're in agreement. We can move on. Beautiful. We're going to the next one. And the next one is, what do we charge? Hey, you guys excited for this one? What do we charge? Well, just be upfront and honest. What do you charge? Now, in my part of the world, in your part of the world, you may be charging 3%. And you say, hey, our office charges 3% commission for our services. You can outline everything that you have there. And then it's up to you, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, what you like to offer the cooperating broker. You may offer them 3, 2 and 3/4, or 2.5, right? However, the more you offer the cooperating broker, the more exposure your home will get to the property, the more exposure your home will get in the market. So, question is, does this make sense? After you explain it, that's the tie down. And then we're going to ask them a question. How much commission would you like to offer the cooperating realtor? Keeping in mind, the more you offer the cooperating realtor, the more interest your home will receive. It's up to them. They get to choose, right? And whatever they choose, again, we are explaining to them the exposure and what is happening in today's market, right? If any of you have an issue with that, come Tuesday and we can role play it and I'll show you how to do it. But for the most part, it's pretty self-explanatory. I know many of you have been doing this and it's been working really well. All right, let's jump into it. Number 4, what is your home worth in today's market, right? Now, when we look at pricing a home, there are 3 pricing strategies that every homeowner has. The first one is they can push the envelope and price their home above market value. That's option 1. Option 2, they can price it at fair market value. And option 3, they can try and create a little bit of a buying frenzy and price it below market value. Those are the only 3 options you really have. You're either above, at, or below. It's really that simple. And we're giving them a choice with direction. So how do we do the direction? How do we give them the direction that they need to pick the right strategy, right? So let's just highlight them, plain and simple. What are the pros and cons for either one? So if we look at the first option, above fair market value, what's the pro? And there's really only one pro, and that is you might set a new value for the neighborhood and find that one unique buyer, that one buyer who's been, this is their childhood home and they absolutely love it and they don't care the price. And that happens, right, folks? That happens. You've all been through it where you've listed a price way too high and someone actually bought it. And you're like, huh, I had no idea. And that happens. It does. But let's be real. There's a lot more cons to listing higher than there are pros. Like the buyer may reject the listing price and be forced to adjust it down, right? Your home may take longer for it to sell, which we all know that. You may get, lowball offers or no offers at all. And the worst is you're chasing the market. As the longer you stay in the market, the less value your home is perceived, right? So showcase that on how there's so much more cons to it. Option 2, fair market value. Well, that's easy, right? You're going to, again, showcase the pros and the cons, right? You'll get higher showing activity, attract more buyers compared to the first option. And depending on your market, you may receive multiple offers. Yeah, that may happen, right? There are some cons too. Buyers can still reject your price and then you'll be forced to reduce. And that typically happens when you're in a declining market. So you go there, I think this is fair market value based on my comps, based on what's sold, but yet you price it correctly and it just happens to be the market. It just happens to be one of those markets where condos are just not selling or townhouses are just not selling, or it's just one of those markets and we're in that transitional period. And that happens, right? And of course, we may be forced to reduce. But then the pros are you might get an offer at full asking price, right? You'll get way more showings in the property, right? You're talking to, whoops, wrong. I already said that. Okay, so bye. Let's go to option number 3, below market value. So below market value, prices is worth this, and we're going below. We're definitely get the maximum exposure for the property. You get maximum activities. Buyers are going to say this is a great deal in comparison to the rest. Not to say that you're on a discount, but people feel the value on this property, right? There's a very significant chance that you might get multiple offers. Never guarantee that, folks. Never, ever guarantee that. You might, but you'll set yourself up for a quick closing. But more importantly, your terms. It's not just the price, it's the terms as well, right? What are the cons? Again, there's no guarantee that you'll even get an offer, right? But they are in your favor. So as you can see, I go through the 3 pricing strategies and Mr. Seller, right? Final thought is, of the 3 pricing strategies we've discussed, above, at, or below fair market value, which option do you like to move forward with? You're giving them the choice, right? And the question is, what price would you like us to use to get the buyers to buy your home instead of the competition? All right. So last one, this one's the last question. This is an important question. What is happening in the market? And this is what I call the deer in the headlights close, right? The deer in the headlights. This is your close. You've given them all the information. They know why they should hire you. They like your marketing plan. They've picked the commission. They've picked the price, right? They've done all the work. But now here we are. We want them to sign the contract. And this is how we get them to sign the contract, right? So what's happening in the market, Mr. Seller? Well, there are 2 data points that we need to share with the client, right? To create some confidence. Because all they're looking for is a reassurance that this is the right move for them. So in that being said, the first data point that we're going to share with them is how many homes are actually for sale in the MLS. And the second is, what are the average number of days in the market? So I'm going to say to you, hey, Peter, right now in our MLS, we got 1,823 homes for sale, and the average days in the market is 24. And you get that look. You know that look, that deer in the headlights look? It's like, what does that mean, Danny? Yeah, what that simply means, and this is where you go into your close. Hey, what this simply means is this is a great time to put your home on the market. And then you use the line to hit your close. All we need to now is simply sign the paperwork so that I can help you get to Phoenix by March so you can start your new job. Now, won't that be great? Now, I'm using their motivation in the close, whatever their motivation may be. Hey, all we need is to help you get to Toronto so you can move closer to your grandkids, right? Whatever it may be. Okay, so you're using their motivation in the close. So, how do you build a listing presentation that drives results? Realistically, it all comes down to focusing the presentation on the seller. It's not about you. It's not about you. It's about the seller, right? So that being said, let's just do a final recap. Number one, listing presentation begins the moment you book the appointment. It's showtime now. Qualify the appointment and send a pre-listing package to control the narrative. Build trust by using open-ended questions in your presentation, especially those 2 open-ended questions at the very beginning. Showcase your value by answering the 5 common questions that every homeowner has in their mind. You know, why hire us? What do we do to market your home? What do we charge for our service? What is your home worth? And what's happening in the market? And the last is use kind of advanced technique, like the patterns that we talked about regarding tie downs. Use those tie downs to get them to take action ultimately. All right. So questions, concerning, I'm gonna get to questions in a second. Let me just go to this page here. All right. Grab your phones, scan that QR code. If you scan that QR code, what you're gonna get is these slides, the listing presentation, and all my material and scripts and dialogues will take you to a landing page, and you can get that material right off the bat. So just hit that right now, and let me answer any questions. I think there's some stuff in the chat. You guys got it? You guys all good? All right. So questions, concerns. So please unmute yourselves. Oh, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be a good one today. All right. Please unmute yourselves. I'll put it back up. All right. I'll put it back up. I'll put it back up. You guys all missed it. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right, let me get that out of the way. You guys good?
No.
All right. Anyone have any questions since it's up?
I'm ready to go fucking conquer. That's what I want to do right now.
Oh, love it. There you go. Peter's ready. You know, Leo and I were discussing this before the call. So, you know, he's all set. He's got my slides. He's got everything already.
Got it.
All right, we golden. All right, you guys all good?
Yes.
All
Yep.
right. Questions, concerns. At what
I
point?
have a question.
Go ahead, Scott.
Well, as you know, on a personal basis, I had a whole career, 20 years in the business. And what I've developed, and I don't even know if it's a smart thing or not, my entire listing presentation is online and password protected. So what I do in my former life is I would direct people towards the website to go through the entire listing presentation before I would be on site.
So are you saying that before you actually meet with the client, you're sending them the presentation for them to review it
Yeah, 'cause it's
before
all
you get there?
Yeah, because it's all interactive.
Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I'm always going to say, take a look at your numbers. What's the conversion rate on something like that? If that email that I showed you where you send to the consumer and you can add in videos or about us, that is from High Notes. So those of you, and thank you, Katie, for showing me High Note as I start playing with it. There was another one I was showing as well. It's called Kado. And that one was great. Jennifer had shared with me. There's a number of these ones out there. I highly recommend you put something like that together to send to your client. Remember, you're controlling their narrative before you go to the appointment, right? Does anyone have any other questions regarding the listing presentation?
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
What do you say when they say, well, we have 2 other appointments?
You have 2 other realtors that coming in. Great. Hey, well, this is a handling objection scenario, right? And let me bring it to you, Cheryl. What's your favorite handler?
I I was doing it so that you would say.
All
I
right.
tried it. It's funny. Sometimes, they say you're supposed to do the last appointment.
Doesn't matter. In my books, it doesn't matter. Here's what I would do. I always follow the rule when it comes to handling any sort of objection. So those of you that haven't heard this before, please write this down. It's repeat what they say back, give them massive approval, approve them, and then ask for permission before you handle it. So I would say, hey, Cheryl, so you're going to be interviewing other realtors. Is that, did I hear you correctly? Well, thank
Correct.
you for sharing that with me. And I really do appreciate you being upfront and honest with me. I love working with people like you who at least let me know this. Because sometimes people wouldn't have even said that. They would have just let me go, right? So I want to thank you for that. May I ask you a question?
Sure.
See, that was the repeat, approve, and ask for permission. You guys got that? That's what that was. So now you go into your clever handler. Hey, do you like high pressure sales?
No, not at all.
Do you like to be pressured to sign the contract right now?
No, I do
Then
not.
why would you meet with another realtor now to get that? Do you feel I can get the home sold?
I do.
Yeah, well, let's prove that. Let's sign the contract and let me see if I can get that done for you.
Love it.
That was great. I love that one.
All right. So, but it only works if I have her on my side. I'm sorry, I got the light here. The sun's coming down. I can't change that. It only works if you get them aligned with you. If I just went into, hey, do you like high pressure sales?
Mhm.
Like that would sound very obnoxious. You guys get that? Handling an objection, you must get them aligned with you first. It's not this. Just because they got a question, you don't have to answer it right away. You need to align yourself with them.
But when you're
Repeat.
doing the pre-qual,
Yep.
you say, is there anyone else that you're going to be interviewing for the job?
Like I said, in the pre-qualifications, I asked, do they have any specific questions for me? That's what I asked.
Okay.
They may, if they want to volunteer that information and say, I am going to be meeting with other realtors, and I say, great, thanks. I'm going to keep going, right? I'm just going to write it down. I'm not there to handle over the phone. When you're over the phone,
Yeah.
please don't handle any objections at all.
So you
Just-
don't ask them you don't say to them, is there anyone else that you'll be interviewing for the job of selling your home? That's
your qualifying questions are yours, whatever you like.
okay. All right.
Me personally, I don't care.
Don't use that. Okay.
Right? I'm very comfortable with my handler. So you're going to bring it up and I'm going to handle it and you're going to sign the contract. And I'm good with that.
Okay.
Right. But
I would probably say, man, you're interviewing other agents, man. That's a bummer for them because you're going to have to break for them the news that you're going to be hiring me.
see, but if you do that over the phone, you're not establishing that rapport with them.
Yeah, you're screwed on the phone if you say that.
If you do that
Yes.
over the phone,
Crocodile brain, up, Pete?
if you do that over the phone, Lou, you're going to end up in a position where if they're like empty nesters, as an example, let's say generation baby boomers, let's say they're baby boomers, and you say that to a baby boomer, go, who the hell is this guy? What do you think he is? Right? Careful with that, right? You got to be careful with that. So again, never handle objection over the phone. Get that objection face to face. Now we can handle it because you'll be surprised, Cheryl. You do such a great presentation, and I've seen this happen where the husband and wife or they look at each other and say, "Why are we interviewing so and so?" Like,
Yes.
I'm kind of good, and this was long and taxing, and holy cow, this is too much information. My brain's gonna fry. Do I have to do this 2 more times? No, I'm good. Right?
I like that. That's what we should imagine before we go in the front door.
Yeah. So was this good for you guys? Was this a good presentation? This work? Any other questions? Listen, anything else? We got a little time here.
Danny, so where are we going to be tracking the listings? I know you put us into Teams. I got the email.
You got it. So I've already set it up. You're going to get my emails through Google Gmail. It's all can come to you. You're going to, starting Friday, you're going to get an email from me saying, hey, how many listings did you get this week? Because it is already, this is it. So on Friday, you're going to go, hey, how many listings do you have? And you need to report that to me before, I think it was either Saturday or Sunday, one of those days. So you have to report it to me. And then I'm going to just track it myself. And then as you get my Monday emails, real estate roundup every Monday, it will be in there. You'll see which team is in the lead, what's going on. And then at the very end, the team with the most listings will get a prize. All right. You good with that, Fernando? All right. What else do we got?
Love it.
Questions, concerns?
What-
Listen. All
you
right.
said something about us being in a team.
Yes.
How do we know which team?
Did you see my email this morning? Come on.
I did. I didn't see anything
Just
about a
entertain
team.
me and say you did. Just pretend. Come on.
No,
You-
that's how I got the link for this
Just-
meeting. So I saw
Please
the
tell me
email.
you got my email. Okay, I'm gonna show my email, so hopefully you guys got it. Here we go. Here we go. All right. So let me go back to you. I'll share my screen. Did everyone get this email? Should I change the name? No, okay. Realistic. So if you scroll down, look at the team. Look, Carlos, you're on the blue team.
Hey,
All right. You guys got your teams?
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
We did that easy, man. That's simple. So you're gonna get your
Got
emails. What else do you guys have? What other questions? All right, so we got a great group here. So please unmute yourselves if you can. Please unmute yourselves. I'm gonna yell out what day is it today, and you're gonna yell back at me. It's a money-making day. You guys good for that? You guys good? All right, unmute yourselves. I want to hear it all. Loud and proud, baby. Loud and proud. We ready? All right, we ready?
Yeah. Let's go.
What day is today?
It's
a money-making day.
All right, it's a money-making day. So who do you have to connect with to get that listing? You guys are awesome. I'll talk to you real soon. Thanks so much.
Thank you.